Boruto TBV Chapter 14, Duty, is officially out. Without further delay, let's jump right into the review. Kashin Koji is on the cover. He has the same colors as Part 1, along with a jacket that looks similar to Naruto's and prescience ability as its background. Chapter starts with Boruto's interrogation. As we know in the last chapter, Boruto was critically injured by Gaara and then arrested by Konohamaru. Boruto has been healed obviously by Himawari, although Kawaki stopped her in the last chapter, but it was until he was handcuffed. The interrogation is being heard by the elders and Amato via mind transfer jutsu. Shikamaru is outside the interrogation room, and Ida is watching via her Senrigan from her special house to inform everything to Kawaki. The first thing Boruto asks is the well-being of his friends, and the whereabouts of the enemies. Konohamaru confirms that everyone is safe, but they lost many of their comrades. Also, Konohamaru explains Amato's electronic handcuffs, which can suppress the usage of jutsu. Basically, a handcuffed person cannot concentrate chakra in order to activate any jutsu. Along with that, the handcuffs are unbreakable with physical force. Sakura returns to Boruto manga almost after 50 chapters. Last time we saw her in chapter 38, when Sasuke teleported to her after getting embarrassingly beat up by Jigen. We got to know about Himawari's limitations in the healing ability. She can regenerate flesh, organs, and blood, but she cannot restore the flow of chakra. On other side, Damon laughs and teases Kawaki about Boruto revealing that Naruto is alive and sealed by Kawaki. Kawaki blames Boruto for his own actions and says Boruto's true nature is a rampaging Otsutsuki, so he has to die, but he needs all the intel Boruto has on Shinju. Meanwhile, Mitsuki is having an existential crisis just outside Kawaki's room. Boruto explains the Shinju to everyone and warns Konohamaru about Matsuri. Amato elaborates that the information that Shinjus are seeking is intellectual curiosity, which is the experiences that lead to new emotions and knowledge. They'll gain this information after devouring their targets. Boruto reveals that Gaara is the special case. He is the actual incarnation of the 10 Tails. He has no prototype like other Shinju. I have said it in multiple videos, and it was in our faces. Like any other Shinju, he can use his original's jutsu, which is Biju Bomb like 10 Tails. His target is Naruto, who at one point had all 9-tailed beast chakra and, even in the Boruto era, his psyche was still a meeting place for all the tailed beasts. He is the one who names the Shinju, guides them to find the target. Koji told Boruto that they need to get rid of 10 Tails itself. Now that Gaara is 10 Tails, they need to defeat him. When asked about Boruto's source, he refused to reveal Koji's name for Koji's safety. The next panel immediately shows Amato. I think Koji is the inconsistency in Amato's plan. Koji's identity reveal will definitely affect Amato as well, especially now that he awakened the prescience Shinjutsu. Konohamaru doesn't like the answer, but Boruto says he is alive because of the intel he has, or else they would have killed him already instead of interrogating him. Which is true, the elders want Boruto to die, but whether he dies painfully or painlessly depends on his reason behind killing Naruto. On the next page, Shikamaru tries to remember the conversation with Boruto, but the word omnipotence is erased from his memories. He tries, but the only memory he has is deciding that this person is Boruto Uzumaki, and after that, everything made sense. Although Boruto said that this would happen and they needed to believe him anyway, but reading it in real time is scary. Omnipotence is truly the Shinjutsu of Shinjutsu. Boruto reveals that Naruto and his wife are alive, but he can't reveal their whereabouts in order to keep Kawaki's place safe in Konoha. Ibiki was waiting for Boruto to be uncooperative. Meanwhile, Shikamaru connects to Ino, but she refuses to help him this time, which is understandable. Her son just escaped death and is still unconscious, and he is trying to get her to help someone whom she doesn't believe because of how omnipotence works. Ibiki starts with busting Boruto's head on the table, and says he was waiting to pummel the crap out of him for killing Naruto the last 3 years. Boruto replies that it must be nice to have so much free time. Although it was a clever and sarcastic reply, but it really is sad. Boruto this whole 3 years was either running from his own friends and village or fighting Code, and after meeting Koji, training to avoid the worst possible future. Ibiki continues beating Boruto. Even he acknowledges the young lord's aura. Shikamaru stops him and asks to use Mitsuki's venom. Konohamaru is hesitant, but we and Shikamaru know that Mitsuki is going through puberty. Ida informs Kawaki how Boruto is being an actual brother, which shocked Kawaki. Damon is just disappointed. He wanted to see some drama. When Mitsuki was about to open the door, Shikamaru grabbed his hand and reminded him of his duty as a shinobi, which is the title of the chapter. Boruto provokes Mitsuki by saying, "Are you still idiotically searching for your son?" This Boruto's panel was clean. Mitsuki activates Sage Mode and slams Boruto to the wall. But in reality, he unlocks Boruto's handcuffs using a snake and informs him about his stuff in the West Wing security room with 2 guards. Although Boruto would have pinpointed his sword and stuff as he has marked them with flying Raijin. As he mentioned earlier, he is not as fast as Minato, so Mitsuki mentioning it helped him to use flying Raijin faster. Ibiki pulls Mitsuki back, and Boruto makes hand signs for flying Raijin and clears that he doesn't consider Konoha enemies. He will even share intel, but he'll decide what info to give them and how they use it is entirely up to them, and teleports. Gets his stuff and tells the fodder shinobi it's not their fault. He just built different, and again teleports. Ibiki blames Amato for creating junk, but Konohamaru noticed that handcuffs are not damaged. He starts to think that Mitsuki might have unlocked them, but his doubt is erased by the fact that only he, Ibiki, and Shikamaru know about the 4-digit key code, and as per him, Mitsuki does not have any reason to help Boruto. This is what I was afraid of. There are so many red flags for Shikamaru. Even elders warn him about Boruto's escape, causing him severe consequences from the feudal lord. Kawaki was already suspecting the sensory unit. Ino is not trusting him, and he gave the key code to Mitsuki, which Ida might notice. Shikamaru returns to the Hokage office and was thinking about how to avoid these red flags. Sarada and Sumire busted into the office, asking about Boruto's interrogation. Shikamaru informed that Boruto has escaped. Shikamaru gets an emergency call from Lord Konkuro of the Sand. He informs that Gaara has been taken down, and Shinki got treefied. And we transition to the newly awakened Divine Tree, which is now confirmed to be formed after Shinki's chakra. Jura names him Ryu, which means grain or particle, basically because of his ability to control iron sand. And the chapter ends with the shinju being the same as Koji's prescience, meaning that we are still in the same worst possible future. This felt like a transitional chapter from the Shinju awakening arc to the worst possible future arc. It was the weakest chapter yet, but at the same time many OG characters returned along with the Sand Village. Comment below with your thoughts on the chapter, and the upcoming worst possible future. Watch my previous videos, and we will meet in the next one.